Hey guys, Heavy Arms 45 here. I decided to do something different. Me and my sis always be talking about stuff, so I figured I'd go ahead and record it and get y'all view on everything that we say. And I hope y'all enjoy it. Hey sis. Um, I was just thinking about a bunch of cliches that you see in horror movies,
Mhm.
and these are the ones I came up with. Uh, Blondes die first. Black people always die in horror movies trying to save some white person or something like that. And no one knows how to walk. They all trip over their own feet. Um, in the Jason movies, all the virgins seem to be the ones who live. And if you have sex in those movies, you die. Um, in all the well, somehow the killer can always catch up with you no matter where you run to, no matter how fast you can run. And
Right.
even before you even plan where you going to, they already there. Like what? Like how in the world? Like these cliches is kind of weird. That's like the finding the body. Like if you didn't see the body, the person didn't technically die. That it's kind of like those kind of
Right.
cliches.
Also, another cliche I could think of is like their friend is dead on the ground bleeding, and oh my gosh, they want to touch all over me. And it's like you just ask police to help you find this person that is doing all this, and then you go in and you touching. What's the sense of that? Another one, just
But I mean, like, why is it that every movie seems to do this? Like, I know that I said the whole virgin thing only happens in Friday 13th, but it seems like all of them do. Even like, I'm short, so I notice if I look in the back of my car, as soon as I'm opening up my door, I see the back seat of my car. Why is it this person
right.
drives like 5 miles in the middle of the drive, all of a sudden somebody comes up and they suddenly get stabbed? I'm like, I would have saw that person as soon as I got in the car.
Right, like in horror movies, they don't really be the most observant. You know what I'm saying? I'm like in real life, wherever I'm going, I'm watching front, back, side to side, making sure everything is safe before I get in my car. In horror movies, they just get in the car, don't pay no mind on what they doing, and all of a sudden you getting choked. Like in Chucky, the
Yeah.
man driving, all of a sudden he getting strangled.
Was it? Yeah, Child Play
Yeah,
3,
child's play. Yeah,
right before the boot camp.
right.
But yeah, they always doing stuff like that. I'm like, this doesn't make no sense. Like, how can you trip over your own feet? Like, you could be the school's fastest track star, and all of a sudden, you see Freddy or somebody chasing after you. You tripping over your own feet, and then he catch you.
Yeah, I think with that it be they be running, but they be looking behind them at the same time. It's like if you out in the woods running, first of all you probably don't know where you going in the woods,
I'll give you that one.
and you running and you turn to see where they at. But it's like
But I figure track star used to that because they got to look to see who behind them, make sure there ain't
you
nobody
can't
catch.
be turning all the way around running and
I,
tripping over tree stumps.
But some of them, they be like on roads, and next thing you
Oh
know,
yeah.
the killer like they left a killer in Halloween H2O. They left him in
Yeah.
the building. They go down the hill before they made it around a bush. There is Michael Myers just standing there with the knife in his hand.
Yeah.
It's like we didn't plan on being here, but magically there goes Michael Myers. Just he was hanging on the ceiling. I didn't even know I was
Right.
gonna be here. How do you know? It's like it's not like he's up there on a cell phone, like checking like your Facebook saying, "Well, going to the theater department or whatever like that."
Right. Yeah. They kind of made me think of that robot chicken sketch where was it Jason or Michael
I
Myers?
think it was Jason.
He was like walking all slow, and as soon as they start running, He waited for them to run a little bit, then he started running out and shortcuts and stuff. It seemed kind of like that.
Yeah, it's
Cause
cause
ain't no way you been walking 1 mile an hour. They running fast as they can. And you just walking, and
and
you catch up with them.
yeah, cause it seems so absurd to see that happen. You're like, okay, this is just like a cliche thing. In horror movies, one things that I see is that every time you watch like The Conjuring, I'm about to say Paranormal Activity, um, what's the one with the old lady and the two guys? Insidious, or
Yeah,
yeah,
Insidious.
you watch all them. The families that they go see, it's like somebody like, hey, have you been to church? Nah, me and my family know about it, but we don't really go to a lot of times. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
so you don't have no. I'm like, so as long as you got God in your life, you ain't got no problem. Cause the one time I saw it where it almost had me change everything, I was watching the Exorcist TV show, and you see the family in church, and all of a sudden you start seeing the daughter get possessed. Till you find out later on that the mom is actually the same girl from the Exorcist movie.
Oh really?
Well, she's supposed to be the same person, but she played by a
Oh.
different person.
Right. Okay.
But
I
yeah,
never saw that.
so I'm like, you spent all this time. I'm like, okay, so I was right, cause like I didn't have God before this, and all of a sudden, cause it's like if you let them in just a little bit, like those people in the first Conjuring movie with Annabelle,
Mm-hmm.
where they're like, yeah, we heard this little girl's voice in the house, so we told her that she'd go ahead and possess the doll, and that's how Annabelle was born. I'm like that, no. I mean, like, my if my buddy suddenly came,
Kill everybody.
I, hey, I really need, no, not my buddy, but I suddenly hear a spirit talk to me saying, "Hey, I I'm acting like Casper the Friendly Ghost." I want to say, and
Right.
all of a sudden he's like, "All I need is a body. Is it okay if I possess your buddy?" Nope.
Right.
Actually, about the time that conversation started, I'm probably getting ready to like, nope, this ain't the house I'm finna be in no more.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna be like, I need a priest in here. We need to baptize this house. Get rid of everything, cause that's so ridiculous. Like, so like the joke Ed Murphy said a long time
Yeah, I
ago.
was just thinking
He was
that.
like, you Amityville horror. Everybody like, oh, this is a nice house. Oh, I like these floor. Get out. Too bad we can't stay. That's true.
Right. Yeah.
I ain't staying in the house. Like, if somebody like, oh, I found this house for steal. I look around, I'm like, this show is a nice house. Okay, who died here?
Right. I'm finna do some investigating.
Cause like, isn't that the same problem with Pet Cemetery? All the
I
houses were
believe
like a
so.
nice price, but the problem was that they put it all on Indian grave sites.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm
I
like,
believe so. It's been a while since I saw Pet Cemetery. To be honest with you.
well, that wasn't Pet Cemetery, that was Poltergeist. But Pet Cemetery is, they found the little place where if you took your animals there, they came back to life. But
Right. Yeah.
that's still, nah. If you did, I'm not taking Cheech, Chung, or any other dog I've had over to the Pet
Right.
Cemetery just so I could bring them back to life. Them things were crazy when they came back. And then first of all, I'm like, that ain't right in the first place.
Right.
But these cliches are just like so weird. I think I had another one. Oh, there's one you said earlier. Police are no help. Like,
I mean, they really not because they'll. I mean, honestly, they do be frantic when they talk to them, call them. But of course, you just saw somebody get killed. You trying to get away. You gonna be frantically trying to tell the police what's going on. And instead of them trying to listen, calm down and tell me what's going on. By the time they didn't calm down and tell you what's going on, Jason, Michael, Freddy behind you to kill you.
yeah. The one time I think it was so crazy was when you watched the Freddy versus Jason and they run out the house and he's like, "What's going on? What you think is going out. And the
Right.
girl's hands all bloody. And then they come out. And the police was no help because they're like, if we think of Freddy, all of a sudden he's going to come back. Because they realized he fed off of fear.
Right. Yeah.
Which, I don't, I don't know what to say about Freddy. Freddy, I had did a video recently, like last week, talking about Freddy Krueger because I was talking about I Spit on Your Grave.
Right. Okay.
And I said that, it's good to see people get their payback. But it's also weird if you think about Freddy. Freddy's like became a evil spirit because he was getting payback to the parents who killed him because he was a pedophile and was supposedly touching on their kids.
Right.
So, like, everyone's getting revenge for something, except for Michael Myers. I don't know what his thing is besides him just being crazy. Like, Jason's getting
I
people.
think that's all it was.
He
Michael
just,
Myers was just crazy.
yeah.
And he just snapped.
Jason is getting people for his mom's death because his mom
Right.
was getting people because they thought he drowned. But he
Right.
never came home and said, Mama, I'm okay. He just stayed in the woods until after they killed her, which we don't know how long that was between when he died and
Right. Yeah.
um
I'm trying to think.
mo-
I was about to say Scream, but I know the motives for all them because
most of the motives was selfish though. Like
they really were, because Billy did it because Sydney's mom was sleeping with his sleeping with his husband, sleeping with his dad, and I think that caused his parents to divorce, right?
And then his mama did it because because of her son was now dead.
Right.
And then the third one was your mom
abandoned your brother.
Yeah,
and
your mom abandoned me and made a family with you, and so I want her. I want her.
And he was the one that told Billy all. So they kind of made it like he was the reason all that in the beginning happened. In the fourth one, in my opinion, it was a good Scream 4 was good.
It was a cash
but it was
grab.
kind of because it was just, oh, this is she's gonna be her cousin or her niece.
Cousin.
Okay, this is my cousin, and she wants to be like me, so she stages a murder. Like, I was like, why the?
I was actually impressed with it because they almost killed Sydney. That was like literally the closest that Sydney has actually got to being killed out of all the movies.
True.
But deal with cliches, like we said, just about everybody that's in a horror movie doing it for revenge. Candyman, revenge.
Oh yeah.
Like, all these white people killed me because I like the white woman, so I'm gonna get all of them back. And then it got weird because it started like him attacking his own family and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Chucky, I don't want to say Chucky's was revenge. His was just possessions for the most part. He's like, I want a body. At first, and it was supposed to be the first person he tells that he was Charles Lee Ray was supposed to be, but he came back so many times he could have took anybody's body.
Right. Now the thing about that is true. It's like, okay, in the first. Okay, I'm trying to think what happened in the first one. He got shot and burnt up, right?
Yeah.
And then he got remade.
No, exactly what happened was he got burnt up in the fireplace. Right. It's like, but we're friends at the end. This is the end, friend. I don't know why in the world somebody went to the fireplace and remade him, but they
right. So like you said, he could have jumped into anybody's body. You being remade all these times.
But for some reason, during that time, he got this vendetta over, I want Charlie's body. Like, first, second, he wanted Charlie's body. Once he got to the third one, Andy. Why I say Charlie?
Think about Charlie.
Oh, because he said, he's like, I want Andy's body. Andy got a little bit too old. I want to be this little black kid.
Right.
And then you get to the later ones, and it's like, I don't even care about a body. Right. I am notorious. I am the dog killer Chucky.
Right. A cliche I do want to talk about that I don't necessarily know if it's true or not because, far as I can remember, it's only one horror movie I saw where this happened. Them saying that black people die first in scary movies. As far as I mean, I'm not gonna say I've seen a lot of scary movies with black people in them, but Scream 2 is like the only scary movie I can think of where the black people was the first ones to die.
That's the only one I can think of too.
But
But
I hear a lot of times I'm like, why black people always the first ones to die? And I'm like I said, I haven't seen a lot of horror movies, but
yeah,
I'm like, what other movies that got a black person in it? They the first one to die.
I
Off
can't.
top.
I can't think of any off the top of my head. Like most of the time, what I remember is like if you take the Scream movies.
Mm-hmm.
In Scream 3, the black dude knew that he was gonna get caught up in something. He was trying to run
Oh,
the whole
yeah.
time. A majority of the
Yeah.
time to me, a lot of times they're trying to like the black person, the most heroic person in it, because he's sitting up there like, hey, they're about to attack this one girl that I have with me, so I'm gonna protect her. And like, hey, ugly, I'm over here.
Right.
And then all of a sudden, he dies.
Yeah.
When Kelly Rowland in Freddy vs. Jason,
Yeah.
she's sitting up there, and I think they were finna go after the little nerdy dude that she was with. And then next thing you know,
Oh.
Freddy turned around, saw her, and she started acting like she was tough. And Freddy started like stepping back. Oh, he has just scared me. I might have something. Then he like look behind you,
Right.
and she like, oh,
Jason knocked her ass.
clean now.
I was like, oh my goodness.
But yeah, you're right. That's a cliche that you see a lot of times, and there's a lot of movies that you see that they actually survive. Well, not all of us, but a good amount of black people survive. Dawn of the Dead. Vin Raines, not Vin Diesel, survived through most of the movie with no problems.
Right. Yeah.
um, Now the original one, what's the name of it? The
Night of the Living Dead.
Yeah, Night of the Living Dead. The only person who lived was a black man, and the only reason he died at the end was racism.
Right. And yeah.
So it's like it's this whole the cliche of black people dying first. I don't see it, but I know that it seems like they always want us to die trying to save somebody
Right.
white.
I was gonna say that too. Yeah.
Cause like
Yeah.
we're in that's why like it's the most they always give us somewhat of a heroic part, but probably the closest one to me is as soon as you like there's a killer here. Scream 2. The
I was
cameraman
just thinking
left.
that.
The cameraman left
I
as
was
soon as
just
everything was done. Like,
thinking that.
hey, Gail, I'm back.
Right. He just. I was just thinking that. I was like, one example I can think of. He saw something happening. He was like, "I'm about to go. I ain't gonna be caught up in this." And then when everything was over with, I'm back. What's up?
And you don't see a lot of times people in movies do that. Like,
Right.
just watch the American
I
Horror
was like,
Story.
I don't know where he disappeared to, but
Like American Horror Story, 1984. He sit up there. We like, okay, this black man figured out of it. He like, I ain't got no part of this. He lost his head.
honestly,
He kind of deserved it, but
yeah, because he was just,
yeah, I know.
he was an asshole.
But it's weird to that's a weird cliche to say that black people die first. Like out of
Right.
all the horror movies that I've seen, I've not seen a black. I've seen a blonde die first, of course. Drew Barrymore in the first Scream movie.
Right.
Um, and there's I'm trying to think of other movies I've seen, but usually they make the blonde, the dumb blonde. She's the one who's usually having the most sex in the movie, so she's usually the first one to go because she gets caught in a compromised situation, like being on top of a guy, and all of a sudden both of them get stabbed through by Jason.
Oh, yeah.
Cause Yeah, I think that happened in the most recent Friday 13 movie, but I could be wrong. But yeah, all these cliches are so somewhat ridiculous that you see them like remake them. Like they make fun of them on, like you said, Robot Chicken and all this other stuff. Because like, how in the world you do this? Even to try and explain it, they had made Friday 13 video game, and you can be any camp counselor there.
Mhm.
But then there's a chance that you're Jason, and if you're Jason, you just have the ability to just teleport wherever you want to. And that's another
Oh
thing.
wow.
No matter what you do in the game, you know where everyone is. Because, like I said, no matter where you go, you don't even know where you're going to. You're like, I don't know where I'm going to. I'm just going to go ahead and do this.
Yeah, somebody just pop up in front of you.
Yeah. Like, and they give you like the slick, they get
Okay.
they'll give you that when he gets close. But it's like, okay, no one else would have tried to go here, but he would have figured it out. Like, okay, there's a cabinet right here. There's no one else here. If I hold my breath, no one would know. And you can actually do that in the game. And still, he can find you and stab you. It like no matter what you do, he'll find you. And it's the same thing in like the movies. It's like, okay, there is no way that he would try to stab. Like somehow you found a little room that's between the walls that no one else would know about, unless they was there when this house was built. And next thing you know, he done stabbed the wall and found you. You said like all you get is like that one eye hole that somebody had made that no one would have known about.
Yeah.
But Jason like walks by, you like, oh, how in the world did he know?
That is a great question.
These are some horror cliches. I'm like, come on. I'm like, you can't be like the world's greatest killer like at the word go.
Right.
I think Jason has one of the highest body counts there is in horror movies.
I
And it's just
think so. 'Cause I think me and you saw the same list.
yeah, I think he had like over 100 kills out of.
Right. I think so. I ain't seen that list in so long. I think it was him. Was Freddie second or third?
I won't say he was third, but I feel
Okay.
like Chucky was like ninth because he had like
Right. Yeah.
47 kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Candyman had a low kill count too. But
Yeah.
murder wise, Jason just like he just goes through and just starts killing people, and no one knows how in the world he finds them. And Michael has a high kill count just because he just doesn't care. He'll walk into some place and just randomly kill people.
Yeah.
Because at first it was about his family, then it was this secret cult that he was supposedly part of, and it got
Right.
it is like, yeah, we need to bring this back to reality because we just going too far with the crazy. And that's kind of the whole thing with, I guess you say, the cliches of everything. And I don't mind when people do something different. I don't mind when you do something different in horror. Like your vampires are different or your zombies. Like I like the uh Dawn of the Dead just for the fact of the fast zombies. I wouldn't want
Right.
to be in
Yeah.
that world, but
Right.
it, but at the same time, while talking about horror, one people who try to go really on the extreme kind of get me too, because Twilight is not a horror movie,
Right.
but you bitched out a bunch of vampires, and
Yeah. That is true.
and I don't. I know it's breaking away from cliche like vampires won't suck your blood, they can hypnotize people, but making them glitter in the sunlight,
Yeah. Just.
I can't stop twinkling. What the?
Cause it was like for me after seeing. I mean, Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It wasn't really a scary movie,
Yeah.
but it scared me into being scared of vampires.
Right.
And then when you afraid of vampires, whenever you see one, then you see Twilight, and they glistening in the sun. It's like, oh, I'm not scared no more. And then I watch another vampire show, and I'll be back on track. But yeah, that did like, yeah, it kind of, what's the right word? Sensitized vampires.
Desensitized.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like this vampires. They're not scary. They can be funny
Right.
too. And yeah, that's like the move. Tom Cruise, The Mummy, is not a.
that was a terrible movie.
I feel like they wanted to
Because
be action, but it just
right, because in my mind, I was thinking maybe it's gonna be something like Brendan Fraser's The Mummy,
right.
but it wasn't. It was like the mummy was in love with him or something like that, and
Yeah.
it was. I'm like, and then I was expecting, because this is Tom Cruise, it's gonna be action packed. It's gonna have a little. It was some bullshit.
Most
And
Tom Cruise
then
movies are.
And then I heard they was doing that to make it like bring it back to classic horror movies with the werewolf and the mummy and all that. And I guess because the mummy did so bad, because one Russell Crowe in that movie.
Yes.
Okay, Russell Crowe was supposed to be playing the werewolf. I think. Either the werewolf or Frankenstein or one of them. I forget which one it was. But I think because the mummy did so terribly, they was just like, forget that. Like,
yeah, a lot of stuff like that.
let's cut that. I think that's what I read.
No, I've seen that same thing.
I don't want to be giving out no false information.
No, you're right. That really bombed, and it's kind of like the whole idea of what happened with DC. Right. DC was planning on this whole plan of like, hey, once we get all these movies started, we'll be able to do this, and people didn't like Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. People didn't like Justice League. You know, we went and saw Justice League, and we technically want our money back after seeing that movie.
Yeah. It was more so because I don't like Ben Affleck. And he was a bad Batman to me.
Well,
but you know, it's somebody out there in the world that liked him. I didn't.
Yeah, like me. I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. I disagree with the timing that they did for Ben Affleck as being Bruce Wayne. But I'm not a big Tom Cruise fan. But I'll watch A Few Good Men. But a lot of his other movies, I don't see him as a good actor in. I don't see him being. I don't see him as being crazy. And I had a friend a couple days ago. We were talking about different people, and somebody said talk trash about Keanu Reeves. And there's Keanu Reeves got a bit. His stars gotten real bright right now.
Mm-hmm.
But I still go back to Bram Stoker's Dracula, where he was like he's the only British character in there that still has a surferman accent.
Yeah.
So it's like Arnold, like trying to make Arnold something more than Austrian. Like literally everything that you see him in is he's Austrian.
Get the chopper. I'll be back.
They're like, we're not trying to change his voice. If you can't deal with the Austrian, that's your problem.
Yeah.
So
I will be back.
And he knows that's his thing. That's why he doesn't change it.
Yeah.
Like Kindergarten Cop. In Kindergarten Cop, they say he was Austrian. So I'm like,
yeah. Which is, I don't want to say that's strange, but it'd be fast. I'm trying to stay on the top, but it'd be fascinating to me when people be from other countries and they be in America for like a long period of time, but they still have a strong accent still.
I won't say that's kind of like what their brand is now. Kind of like
Yeah.
Arnold came in because if you ever see the original, the first movie I saw him in was a Hercules movie, and they didn't even use his voice. They didn't use his voice or his name. His name was Arnold Strong instead of Arnold Schwarzenegger because I guess they're
Oh.
like we not worried about him. This is his first movie. We ain't finna
Oh
try to
yeah.
learn how to spell his name. So, but and they did that movie kind of like what they do for Japanese movies. It's like
They had
they
dubbed it.
yeah they voiced over it and you didn't hear his voice at all. Then later on when he got bigger, it started to where okay we'll actually put his whole name Schwarzenegger and we'll go ahead and use his voice and
Right.
he's Austrian in everything he does. Just like Sofia Vergara. You will
Oh
not get
yeah.
away from that thick accent. And all I remember, the first time I remember seeing her is in what? Chasing Poppy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I had what was mixed people up. Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, you know,
That I love her, but she has a nasally voice.
but that's her. That's her thing. She's had
Yeah.
that same voice from Chasing
From
Poppy
Poppy.
to now in Modern Family. That's her thing. You know.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying. Like you said, let's go ahead and try and stay on topic somewhat, even though I feel like we've been talking for a while. What other cliche like horror movie cliche? Because there's a lot of other cliche like we said about the whole if you don't see a body, the person's not dead.
Right. I'm trying to think.
The monster can't die because like
Yeah.
that's the one they always play with like in scary movies. Like, hey, he's not dead till you shoot him in the head. Which
I think that's another one where the killer approaches them and they'll have a weapon and they'll hit them one time. Now me, if I'm in a scary movie and I'm in a situation where a killer is behind me, I'm gonna do the kill like I do a roach. I'm gonna keep on hitting. You know, I'm gonna just if you see a bug, you don't just step on it one time and be like, okay, he dead. You gonna keep on stepping on the bug. That's why I think that's another cliche where they get a chance to one up the killer and beat them up real good, half kill them, get
yeah.
slow them down a little bit. They'll just hit them one time.
Well, I think okay. I got another cliche for you, where the person there's someone who doesn't know about this person. Like Jason has been around for years, and there's randomly this person that doesn't know who in the world this guy in the hockey mask is. That looks like he's like been swimming all day.
Right. Oh
Because the first time I think of is Jason X, where it's like you've heard the legend of Jason. Jason is like
yeah.
everybody knows his kill count, and this guy suddenly like it's fine. He only wanted his machete.
Yeah.
How did you not see what was going to happen next? I saw what was going to happen next.
That was really stupid. I really didn't like Jason X either.
Not many people like Jason Hicks. It everything always goes downhill when you go in space, especially when.
Maybe that's why I didn't like it.
Cause think about it. How many horror movie people have we gone to space with? Leprechaun in space. Leprechaun in the ghetto.
Yeah.
You know why that was so weird? Because yeah, black people would want gold. We ain't dealing with a leprechaun like that though. And why the first person they go after is the voodoo priestess? Like, hey, the only person who help us is Mama Lekbo or whatever her name was.
I don't know what her name was.
But like, we need to go to her because she's the only one who can help us. Y'all need a 4-leaf clover. Black people don't even know where to find a clover sometimes. What let alone 40.
Police, right.
But
Um,
there's not a lot of,
right. I can't really think anymore.
I think we've gone through a lot of them. But yeah,
I think so too.
horror movie cliches are always weird. And also, I want to say there's more blood. A horror movie cliche is that there's always more blood in the person than you would think when you're watching these movies. Because not just like Japanese movies, but like if you watch the Saw stuff, and it's like
Oh
everybody
yeah.
likes gore now anyway. You know, um, The Conjuring gets away with lots of. They do a lot of jump scares,
Right.
but
Yeah.
they get you a lot more than I want to say Saw does with they little traps and stuff.
Right.
But
I want to say, well, would there really be a cliche?
what
That well, I think you already said that the killer never dies. Well,
he?
they never allowed for the killer to be just
Well,
cease to exist.
I guess yeah, because you won't. I would say because they won't make the uh, monster a legend. Freddy, we can't get rid of Freddy because Freddy is a dream creature. He just like if you
Right.
kill him, he'll just go back to the dreams, which is weird. Jason, he's been killed at the end of every one of his movies, and magically he comes back. Chucky has
Right.
been killed at the end of every one of his movies. He literally made he's like, I'll come back. I always come back. But dying is such a why?
Right.
You know, he makes fun of like, yeah, I die at the end of every one of my movies, but trust, I'm going to come back.
Right.
um, and some people like, okay, that's his cliche, and so let's make this new one where he's AI, which I feel like that's another cliche. It's not a horror movie. Well, it's not a horror movie cliche, but sort of an action movie cliche because in just about every movie that deals with AI,
Mm.
Robot, AI, or
Right. Yeah.
there's always the AI system suddenly starts thinking for itself, and all of a sudden, I need to get rid of the people.
Right. But spoiler alert. The reason he started to do that was I'm gonna put the blame on Andy and his friends because he was like a dog that he picked up on what they were doing. They was sitting there watching. I think they was watching. Either they was watching Halloween or they was watching Friday the 13th, and they was laughing when people were getting killed. And so Chucky saw he was watching this man stab these people, and saw these kids laughing. So he was like, "Oh, okay, that's funny. That's fun. That's something that's
I
it's not
don't
a bad thing. It's a good thing to stab people."
I don't know if that's a good thing that Chucky was smart enough to notice those kids. Like, are you too dumb to realize that was just a movie? You don't do that in real life.
Right. But that's why I said I'm gonna put some of the blame on Andy and his friends because he's watching them and he looking at the TV and seeing that this person getting killed and these people laughing at it. And so because he like, okay, it's cool. It's okay then. It's all right for me to do this.
Yeah, but it's
And
like,
then from that, he did eventually
but I mean,
come
the movie comes up
possessed.
for itself. It's like
Yeah.
the AI in most movies, the concept of an AI always something goes wrong. You know,
Yeah.
we we make a machine too smart, it's going to turn on us, and then we have problems. Even if you go back to 2020, A Space Odyssey, or no,
The
2001,
one.
A
Yeah.
Space Odyssey. I'm sorry, I gave it 19 more years than what it's supposed to. You know how open up the ship. I
I can't
cannot do
do
that,
that.
Dave.
Yeah.
No matter what you do, if you give a computer enough intelligence, it's going to realize that I should kill people.
Right. Yeah.
And it's a cliche I don't like. I like the whole idea of Child's Play, well, the original Child's Play, because
Yeah.
there's
Me
not a
too.
lot of dolls that like, oh, this person possessed a doll. Yeah, it got kind of out there when you get to some points of it, but
Yeah.
you could have went. You could have stayed with the same idea of child play, and they could have went a lot darker than what they did.
And also, I don't like the fact that this man is still doing his Child's Play franchise, and you decide, whoever this new person was, you decide to do a new installment. I'm like, how you just gonna break into this? This man is still making Child's Play movies. How you just gonna intersect your? How you just gonna intersect yourself into his lane? I'm like, who even asked for that?
The studio probably, because if you look at it, a lot of the stuff they've done recently dealing with Chucky has been straight to DVD. If it's not straight to
Right.
DVD, it's straight to Netflix. Like
Yeah.
Cult of Chucky and what was it? Curse of Chucky.
Yeah.
Both of them, so, like I'm looking forward to buy. And somebody like it's already on Netflix. I'm like, then why am I paying? I'm gonna pay for the CD when I could just
Right.
go to Netflix and get it. You know, so they were probably trying to find something that they actually could put in theaters. And right now, kind of like with comic book movies, it's saying something bad about technology is a cash cow right now. Like
Yeah.
saying the evils of technology because we're in our phones all the time anyway.
Yeah.
So you want to make people scared of what they see right in front of them. Well, a lot of people do. Then you get to Jordan Peele, and he doesn't care about all that.
Right.
He just like, I want to tell y'all how y'all fucking up black people. That's all he does. So, but I feel like we've beat this horse to death because we done went on topic, off topic, back on topic.
Yeah.